Yes, we are live. Okay, so let's start with what you're trying to do today. We have this nice nifty Flappy Bird game, and in that Flappy Bird game we are trying to add some new things. So this is the repo. This was done by Kaizan Elam, and I'm trying to improve on the code, the JavaScript code. So what new developers do is that they tend to pollute the global namespace in JavaScript. So this is also another example. In this repo we will see the same thing. So the functions are not namespaced. They are declared in the global namespace, which would lead to, if this application is developed further and new developers work on it, they would also write new functions, and if it is not namespaced, they're in the global namespace, it might lead to strange problems because of naming some JavaScript being JavaScript doesn't complain about duplicate functions. So that's why we have shifted to TypeScript in development, in commercial development, which is transpile, and so we have some degree of able to predict that if there is some errors. So, but this being JavaScript, so we have to stick to JavaScript solutions, which is using namespacing. So I've already made some changes and I managed to break the app. So let's play a little bit. I press enter to start the game. So this is how you press space and the pipes come and then you have to fly through those. I have also broken the score. So you can see the score is not updating. So I was playing around with the code and I managed to break some of them. So I thought that before resetting it, I'm bad at this. So before resetting this, I would also show how we do that. So definitely will have your code, since it's coming from GitHub, you will be tracking it from your GitHub. So easiest thing to do over here is, or from the command line as well, what you can do is just discard all the changes. So select everything and do a discard all. You can also do this from your VS Code. So VS Code will also help you to discard all the changes that you have made. So now these things are done. Once these things are done, that means let me add this to git ignore, because anyways the VS Code setting, it's not required for the application. So now the application is back to its previous point where it was working fine and the score was updating, everything was happening nicely. Let's just check if it is same. Yeah, now you can see the score is updating. So we have gone back to the point in time where the application was working nicely. Yeah, see, I'm able to play nicely. Okay, let's see now how we can improve on this. So if it is a smaller screen, let's refresh this on a smaller screen. So this was a famous game in mobile. So it is well suited for mobile rather than desktop game. Yeah, works nicely. So now let's look at the JavaScript in this. So I've opened this here and you can see. So here you can see that the functions like play, this is namespaced. So whenever they're calling the function, it's directly the name of the function. So ideally, if it is the global namespace not polluted, you will always see there will be something dot the function name. Document dot add event. So anything that is in the global namespace, you can see console.log, whatever we use generally. Message dot class list. So all of these are, none of them, the inbuilt functions, and none of them are in the global namespace. So what you learn from this? You learn that you should never put your functions in the global namespace. It should never be declared like this, so that you can directly call it like this. The request from animation is anyways a special case. So every time it's like either document dot something or element dot something, it is always tagged to some part, some object. So you have to also follow that same model. And even for your elements, suppose get element by id, document dot get element by id, even that you have to think whether you should put it in the global namespace, because that might lead to conflicts. So what is the first step we will take? We'll start by putting this. Let me check how many functions are there. So there is a play function, and inside the play function we have move, then there is apply gravity, and then there's a create pipe. And after everything has been done, I think the play command is called on key down, so the play function will be called. So ideally what I want is this play function to have a namespace, so I will namespace it according to me, and if I refresh that, this will break the game. So you can see salesman9 is not defined, it immediately complains. So now let's see how we can make this better. So function play, it has to be in salesman9. So first thing I will do is look this up. I got some good music, some lo-fi. Let's hear some lo-fi now. Yeah, that's a great song. So const salesman9, that's my namespace, and I will try to put everything inside of this. So if I have function play, how I want to put that? So let's take the entire play, but play actually has all of this, so let me first take the internal functions. So let's take this move function, move it into the namespace. How do you do that? Let's see how long this function is. This goes up to here, it's line number 70. So let me select this entire thing, cut it from here. It's called move function, so we'll tag it to move key and make it nameless. So like that. Move is done. After move, you do this request animation move. So now we know that move is inside salesman9. So anything with move, whenever we call the move function, we can have it like salesman9 dot move function, and it's called again after that. So this is within the function play, so we can have salesman9 dot move. Let's see the next function. We will come back to this bird dy dot 0. If this constants like this has to be redeclared. So let's look at this function, apply gravity, line number 74. This goes up to line number 100. So let's take that again and let's put it after the move function. So we can see the move function comes up till here. So you have to give a comma, just like in objects. So you have to give a comma, and this function you have is apply gravity, I think. Yeah, and you paste that function and make it nameless, anonymous function. So this function is defined now. Let's space it out with a comma. And there is another function called create pipe, which takes care basically of creating the pipes. So if we take the pipes, this function from 109 to 132. So this is the create pipe function. It's here. So we do a create pipe, place the function there, make it anonymous. So wherever you have created the pipe, you can see two occurrences. We will precede it with the namespace. Salesman9 for me. So let's see how I've broken the game. Where exactly? It's still that dot play function. Dot play is not a function, so it can't get what is dot play. So initially I had that play. So now we have to shift this play inside salesman9. What is the play function? The play function has become smaller. Now that I've cut everything, so now we can take this finally and put it inside my namespace. So this is the play function and anonymous. Now you're already thorough with what I'm doing every time. So if I do this now, apply gravity is not defined. Now you see a new error. Apply gravity is not defined, which is on line number 125. Let's see. Yeah, that requires apply gravity. So what we'll do, the line number is correct, 125. We'll go to 125, and in front of apply gravity we will have our salesman9. So you see how I'm taking ideas from the console error, and then from there I am able to correct. So bird dy is not defined. This is line number 70. Let's go to line number 70. Bird dy. So it's trying to get a bird dy, which we know was previously defined here. So I told that I have to also bring this inside, right? So what we'll do, bird underscore dy. Let's put it inside. Where is the call? Before this function. So let's define it before this function. Apply gravity, right? So here we'll have a bird underscore dy, and it was declared as 0. Do you remember that? Yeah, it was declared as 0, and we have to put the comma because this is again object property. And whenever we reference to that bird dy, which is like 3 times here, I have to put my namespace in front of it. So now let's see what other errors we are having. Bird dy is not defined, line number 92. So there seems like another occurrence of bird dy. 92. Yeah, it's there. So I put my namespace in front again. Let's see where else it is breaking. Apply gravity, line 94. So in this apply gravity, this is now inside my namespace already. So I can have this. And also another error it was showing. What was the error? Pipe separation is not defined. Pipe separation, something called pipe separation, because I think, yeah. So these two also has to come inside my namespace. So let me comment those out. Pipe separation and pipe gap before I create pipe. Pipe separation 0, it was right, and pipe gap was 35. So pipe gap is 35. Done. And whenever you use that, like separation, so it is used thrice, you have to, you guessed it right, namespace it. So now it's namespaced, and pipe separation is done. Pipe gap appears only once. So let's put span 9. Let's see, I'll be able to play now. Seems like it is functional now. Yeah, so we have successfully namespaced everything without error. Let me see if the score is coming through. Yeah, the game is functional again. So let me just prettify this once. Yeah, now they're properly lined up. So you can see, just by using one namespace and encapsulating all your functions within the namespace, what we have achieved is every function now has a namespace to it. So you are not polluting the global space anymore. Your global space, somebody else comes in, declares a new namespace, they can just use the same thing. They can call the same function names within their namespace, and your app will not face random errors. So let's see what is the changes that has happened in the Git, in whatever our changes have happened. So to summarize, you have this name of function has gone inside the namespace. Some of the consts have become properties inside the namespace. The functions are like that. So total 31 changes. How many changes have we done? 3. Look at it split. So these are the changes we had to do to move the functions around. And where is the summary? I'm not seeing the summary of how many changes we have made, how many lines added, how many lines deleted. It was supposed to be somewhere. So the app works function. So you can see there is with minimal change. You have now saved the global namespace from being polluted, and your application is also still working nice. Application is functional. So how you can improve on this? You can definitely by improving those elements in the beginning. Those elements are still in the global namespace. So you might think of putting them in their own namespace, or maybe in SASVAN 9 namespace to achieve better clearing of the global namespace, which means that you can add these first elements, right, till here. All these elements that you see, first 16 lines. These things you can look at how you can. Also, another improvement that I was working on was that this will work on a bigger screen, right? Bigger screen, this will become wide and it will take a lot of time for the pipes to approach. So how can you make this port smaller so that it just remains in the middle 600 pixels or 500 pixels, and we can quickly get started with the game. So it's not an easy task with this port here, what you've done. And also there is one thing that you have to click. So you have to put, if you're trying to play it on your mobile, you will have to include the touch event. So you have to use, like we have always used key down. We have used events which are appropriate for laptop, desktop. But you will also have to use touch. The touch event if you want to play this in the mobile browser. Key down, and there is no click, there is only key down. So you play the game only with key downs, right? So that can be a nice task. I will try to do it. I was trying to do it, but you saw that I have broken it when I began. So I'll try to solve this. It's a good task. So you guys can also look at it, how to achieve that. Oh, I have not saved it. So that's why maybe my changes were not many. Let me just check once with the git difference now. Let me check the git difference now. Yeah, it's just these are just indentations, so these are not, you can ignore these. So mostly that is the entire change that you have to make to clear up your global namespace. Now you will have less. This app will be prone to less bugs when new namespaces are declared or new functions are added. This code will be prone to less number of bugs. So that's all for today's stream. So I'll try to keep it short so that we can quickly wrap it up, and we'll see you soon on the next stream. Have a great evening.